There are two different types of aid for college. There is need-based aid, and based off of the family's ability to pay. And there is also merit-based aid, which is scholarship money based off of a student's academic achievements. Need-based aid is primarily determined from the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. It opens up October 1st of a student's senior year, and it's going to be based off the family's income of that previous year's taxes that you had already completed. Students graduating in 2022, they'll be using the family information from 2020 to gauge how much families can use of their money toward the cost of attendance. Using a school's net price calculator is a great way to gauge the cost of that. So you can go to a school's website and put in the search tool net, N-E-T, price calculator, and a calculator will come out where you put in similar information you're going to put in the FAFSA to complete that. Families that are here that are maybe undocumented or on a visa typically do not qualify for the FAFSA. You have to be a US citizen or permanent resident having that green card in hand in order to be eligible for that. So schools may ask for families who are not able or not eligible for the FAFSA to complete their own forms or something called the CSS profile. And schools that are more selective as well may also ask all families to complete the CSS profile through College Board. And we don't recommend families to do that without being prompted from a college because there's additional costs that are involved in that. Once you put all the schools in the FAFSA that the student is applying to, you send it off to the government. They do some fuzzy math and they will tell you your rough estimated family contributions called your EFC. That is going to be changing to something called the Student Aid Index in the next year or two. So there's some changes in the FAFSA that are starting to roll out probably in one more cycle. Then the schools will figure out and give you a financial aid award offer. And it'll say, here's our cost of school, which can range. There's some in-state schools that might be about $20,000 per year. And there's some schools that are $80,000 a year or more, which a lot of the highly selective schools are. So let's say, for instance, that we'll pick Loyola. And let's say Loyola is about $45,000 a year. It's just kind of a rough gauge. Let's say your family's ability to pay, according to the government, is $20,000. That means you would have a need of $25,000. And then the school will show how and if they can meet your need. Need can be made up of gift money, which might be grants or scholarships can be part of that, which is the best kind of money. You're not having to pay it back. It could also be loans. They cap student loans at $5,500 that first year, and they could gap you, meaning they ask, or offer you a parent loan for the difference. And then work study might be an option as well too, where they'll help the student get a job on the campus. That money goes in their pocket, but they're expecting for them to use it to offset the cost of college. Outside of using an early decision agreement, which is something we can talk about in a different video, students have the rights to wait basically till May 1st to get back all of their admissions offers and financial aid packages to find that best fit for the family overall. We recommend that families put their schools in buckets for admission and affordability. And in admissions, have a conversation, about affordability, have that conversation as a family of what is a number per year that feels manageable. And then talk about, okay, well, this school might be more, we have to see how everything shakes out. This school feels like this is a good amount that we could afford, and this school feels like a very good affordable amount. That way, families and students have, an awareness of those schools and options that might happen, and it doesn't become a surprise to the student in April when you guys kind of share like, oh, this may not be a school that we can afford, and it's an ongoing conversation throughout that whole year.